Y'all gotta stop. Y'all really, really need to stop. Angel McCoughtry done lost her goddamn mind. She done lost her mind. Respectfully, you done lost your mentals, mama. You tripped out. First of all, A'ja Wilson started this whole thing, which is complete BS and nonsense. This should never be a conversation, and it wouldn't be a conversation. We would just be talking about how great and entertaining we think Caitlin Clark is. We just be talking about how dominant A'ja Wilson is. We just be talking about how nice Paige Beckers is, but no.
On live television, this former WNBA player completely lost her temper. Angel McCrae's tirade was more than just an impassioned speech. It was a complete breakdown. In essence, she said that guys were obsessed with this WNBA versus NBA match. After Michael Porter Jr. expressed his opinions, she really blew up. Here's the huge twist though. MPJ or any other male athlete did not initiate this drama, or the notion that men are incapable of speaking up. A much larger star was the starting point. And there has been a lot of blowback. Her outburst was merely the most recent fallout from a statement that rocked the basketball world and sparked an unanticipated verbal feud.
We think Caitlin Clark is. We just be talking about how dominant A'ja Wilson is. We just be talking about how nice Paige Beckers is. But no, A'ja Wilson started this, Angel McCoughtry. Don't forget that. She went on and said she could beat NBA players one-on-one. We tried to ignore it. People tried to ignore it, but y'all wanted to keep going on and on. But then when a guy actually addresses it honestly and isn't pandering like Patrick Beverley was, y'all get mad. We got to break this down, man. I got to show y'all the tape where it started and where it ended up. We gonna run.
On live television, this former WNBA player completely lost her temper. Angel McCrae's tirade was more than just an impassioned speech. It was a complete breakdown. In essence, she said that guys were obsessed with this WNBA versus NBA match. After Michael Porter Jr. expressed his opinions, she really blew up. Here's the huge twist though. MPJ or any other male athlete did not initiate this drama, or the notion that men are incapable of speaking up. A much larger star was the starting point. And there has been a lot of blowback. Her outburst was merely the most recent fallout from a statement that rocked the basketball world and sparked an unanticipated verbal feud.
Patrick Beverley was. Y'all get mad. We got to break this down, man. I got to show y'all the tape where it started and where it ended up. We gonna run through this film. You about to get this work. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video as always. Let's get right into things. So, we have ex-WNBA player Angel McCoughtry going on a tirade about Michael Porter saying how he was destroying WNBA players when he was in the 8th grade, which isn't a surprise to us. It shouldn't be a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Moa Wilson made an incredibly audacious, bordering on insane, claim to start it all. She declared in public that she could win a one-on-one match against an NBA player. She wasn't talking in generic terms. Josh Hart, a forward with the New York Knicks, was especially mentioned. Her anticipated score was really precise. This wasn't a quiet comment, after all. It was a significant public declaration. It essentially laid the groundwork for all subsequent male responses. People treated it like a joke and attempted to ignore it. However, she had dropped the gauntlet. She solicited the arguments that Angel would later detest the moment she uttered.
Play 8 to 11. Me.
So she's saying she can beat New York Knicks forward Josh Hart in a one-on-one 8 to 11. We all know it's nonsense. We let her get it off. We left it alone. Patrick Beverley, you have a part to play in this as well. We are going to get to you. So she's saying she can beat New York Knicks forward Josh Hart in a one-on-one. We all know good and goddamn well A'ja Wilson can't beat none of these NBA players. Stop playing games.
I get ball for.
Many others chose to remain silent and tread carefully when it came to OJ's challenge. With raw honesty, one man broke through the clutter. That was Jeff Teague, a former guard in the NBA. He had no intention of being polite or PC. He didn't sugarcoat it. He simply told it like it was. Teague gave a very straightforward response when questioned about Oja's assertion. "Hell no, she can't," was all he muttered. He didn't want to force an ineffective comparison. Instead, he wanted to go on and respect each side for its unique greatness. But in reality, his directness was merely the calm before the storm.
Damn well, A'ja Wilson can't beat none of these NBA players. Stop playing games.
I get ball first.
You get ball first.
She does get ball first.
Not gonna get it back. I'm not saying I'm gonna go you gonna go scoreless, but 8-11, I feel like it's pretty solid. So what do you think it'll be, Josh? Don't piss me off.
And probably like 11-2.
You're sick.
I'll say probably like 11.
11-2 is what he really meant. Now he's about to be nice because he don't want to offend anybody.
11-7.
Then Patrick Beverley appeared. He is a well-known NBA veteran who essentially chose to fuel the flames. He completely catered to such opinions on his podcast, the Pat Bev Pod, implying that A.A. Wilson could undoubtedly defeat several NBA players. This wasn't an honest opinion, you see. It was a well-thought-out, low-cost strategy to generate interest. At that point, no one was discussing A.A.'s challenge. Beverly revived the conversation by searching for clicks. He brought the difficult argument back into the public eye. The game was altered by his pandering.
Nobody was even talking about this anymore. It was done. It was over. Patrick Beverley starts pandering, saying A'ja Wilson can beat NBA players. Michael Porter then says, "Man, you are tripping, Pat Bev. You know she can't beat none of us. I was destroying these type of women when I was in 8th grade. And now all of a sudden, Angel McCoughtry has lost her mind. She's lost her mind now." Let's take a look at what she had to say.
Angel, why are men so obsessed with this conversation?
First of all, congratulations. You was dominating against women in the 8th grade. What is he?
Naturally, Beverly's pandering persisted. Michael Porter Jr., another NBA player, took notice of it. MPJ was unable to remain silent after realizing how phony Beverly's words were. "Man, you are tripping, Patad Bev. You know she can't beat none of us," he said straight at Beverly before dropping the phrase that has since been heard by all. The one that triggered the massive tirade of Angel McCoughtry. "I was destroying these types of women when I was in 8th grade. It was a raw response to a conversation that was artificially brought back to life, and that lit the fuse for the explosion. And man, did she explode," he added. The former WNBA player went on a murderous rampage. Michael Porter Jr. seemed to be the target of all of her rage. She questioned his motivations, his conceit, and the purpose of this argument. She vehemently defended women's basketball in her tirade. However, the issue is that it totally disregarded the true origin of the conflict. She became enraged and blamed MPJ for starting it all. She completely disregarded the series of circumstances that led him to speak. As she released this enormous surge of rage, the internet just watched.
Try to play she started this conversation. Men did not start and create this conversation. A'ja Wilson she started it. What are you talking? Now you're talking about cycles. You're talking about all types of come on, bro.
Load manage off a headache, uplifting her. I think the main thing we should be talking about, a woman, guess what? When I gotta come and drop 40 and I'm on my fucking period and I'm bleeding and my stomach hurts and my back hurts, when y'all load manage off a headache, let's talk about how awesome that is. Let's talk about how awesome it is that women, we have these babies.
Why are men so obsessed with this conversation? Was Angel's major question, posed with righteous rage. She mockingly asked Michael Porter Jr. if he wanted a cookie for controlling women in the 8th grade. Her tone suggested that MPJ's macho ego caused him to attack WNBA players at random. The problem with the framing is that it omits the context. Because she failed to recognize that MPJ was merely reacting to a resurrected debate, her argument was faulty. Angel's story was dissected by the speaker. Michael Porter Jr. did not appear out of thin air. He wasn't attacking at random. In particular, MPJ was reacting to the pandering of Patrick Beverley. And Beverley was igniting a discussion that Aya Wilson had initiated. It would be a distortion of the facts to claim that MPJ was solely to fault. Everything is altered by a factual fabrication to support her narrative. Jason Williams challenged Patrick Beverley to demonstrate that males were merely reacting, not taking the initiative. On Beverley's podcast, the former NBA player challenged him, claiming that his high school team could defeat the WNBA starting five. You see, it wasn't an assault on women. It is an attempt to resist pandering. It displayed the pattern. Male athletes weren't making arbitrary comparisons. Rather, they were reacting to allegations. It was easy to see the trend. Angel McCarthy changed tactics as her case against Michael Porter Jr. began to crumble. By discussing the biological facts of women, she attempted to present an alternative viewpoint. Bringing up PMS, menstrual cycles, and the physical strain of competing while experiencing stomach pain. She attempted to suggest that the one-on-one comparison was unfair or useless because of these particular difficulties. Actually, it's only a diversion from the first encore task. The speaker was not amused by the obvious attempt to change the objectives. "I don't want to hear about your cycle now," he retorted forcefully. His argument was straightforward. Male athletes should be able to react to a woman who appears on video and claims she can defeat an NBA player without the conversation being diverted by irrelevant biological considerations. The original problem was not specific to female experiences, but rather on-court skill. It was all about basketball. Angel continued to highlight the strength of women, citing their capacity to shed 40 points in spite of physical discomfort or to return to dominance in sports after giving birth. She wanted to change the focus of the discussion from that contentious one-on-one challenge to the tenacity of female athletes. She thought that rather than some hypothetical game against males, the emphasis should be on these incredible achievements. She wanted to empower women, but her approach was completely incorrect. The speaker concurred that women's courage and accomplishments are amazing and worthy of recognition. "That's not terrific," nobody said. He said. Nobody took away from that. However, he made a crucial distinction. Celebrating the special struggles and victories of female athletes does not, and should not, absolve them of truthful reactions when they make specific claims about outperforming male competitors. When you are challenged, you cannot simply make an amazing assertion and then expect everyone to remain silent. It's a double standard. Angel then brought up the topic of family life, emphasizing how difficult it is for women to care for a spouse and children while still being the best in their sport. She said that this dual responsibility adds a level of difficulty that male athletes just lack, which, in her opinion, makes women's achievements even more remarkable. Once more, she was attempting to present it as an unfair comparison, suggesting that male sportsmen have it easier because they have fewer household duties. It was an obvious message. Women are more adept at juggling. The speaker quickly put an end to that domestic dispute by labeling Angel's assertion as absurd. He made the point that many NBA players are also fathers and spouses who take care of their wives and children while maintaining their dominance. He emphasized that these male athletes frequently provide for their entire families, including spouses who may not be employed, and they handle all household responsibilities and expenses. He demonstrated the fallacy in her logic and entirely leveled the playing field by arguing that the domestic load isn't exclusive to female athletes. It's a worldwide struggle. In a last-ditch effort to salvage her position, Angel mentioned the great Kobe Bryant, claiming that he never engaged in these kinds of comparing discussions and only ever supported women. She implied that Michael Porter Jr.'s remarks were insulting and went against the spirit of true sportsmanship, using Kobe as the ideal example of how male sportsmen should discuss women in sports. Regardless of the charges being made, she was depicting a world in which men should only ever say positive things. But the speaker was unyielding. What's happening? The talk was initiated by A.J. Wilson. He just cut through all of the emotional appeals and diversions and returned the situation to its original state. She was superior to these guys, according to A.J. Wilson. Male preoccupation and contempt were not the true problem. It was a reaction to an overtly provocative assertion. Angel's attempts to place the blame elsewhere and bring up unrelated subjects just demonstrated her inability to deal